From 1989 starting with SimCity to 2024 where we're still waiting for Sims 5 to drop, odds are, if you're watching this video, you've played at least one Sims game in your life. And that's understandable, seeing as the Sims franchise has branched out to be one of the most player-friendly games imaginable. Whether you've grown up alongside the main series, gotten sucked into the multiple iOS adaptations, or maybe even played MySims for the DS or Wii. I'm sorry, did I say player-friendly? I meant money-hungry. Cause damn it, I need dogs in my game, and I will fold easy. But you can keep that other $1,000 worth of DLC to yourself, and that's just for The Sims 4. Now if you are one of those people who spent $1,000 on the DLC, that's okay, this is a safe space. Now, if you also bought a gaming PC specifically to play The Sims because your laptop kept overheating, nothing, I really just wanted to call you guys out. Anyway, we're not talking about that today, because MySims for the DS would never suffocate you in your sleep with microtransactions or DLC. You know what they would do though? Drown out the market with 5 more games within a 2-year span. The original game was released September 18th, 2007 and sold a total of 1.2 million copies. This tied it with Final Fantasy IV and High School Musical: The Final Cut for the 63rd spot of best-selling DS game. And wow, that is a bizarre bunch. Each following title wouldn't be able to match the success of the original, and eventually games just stopped being made. As far as I can tell, MySims and MySims Kingdom seem to be the most recognizable out of the 6, and for the sake of this video, I'll be playing the original. I've never played MySims before, but as far as I can tell, there is actually an end to the game. Or at the very least, an end to the story of the game. You have to reach 5 stars by completing different tasks or interacting with different characters around the town. You start the game with 0 and you have to work your way up from there. If it's good enough for the game, it's good enough for me. We start the game off creating our sim and naming the island that we plan to start our new life at. When we arrive at Funktown, we meet, is that a furry? Oh no, it turns out to be the mayor's grandson, Tim. When talking more to Helen, the mayor of Funktown, she recommends that we introduce ourselves to the locals. This is our first introduction to how conversations work in this game. Pretty much, the characters feel a certain way, mad, happy, sad, or whatever it is, and we get to choose from one of these circles what we do to react. Some Sims want to be listened to, other ones it would make them angry. In Ewan's case, he wanted us to cry while he was upset in order to make him feel better. He's the town police officer, by the way. We also meet Tyler the tailor, and he seems super depressed, which means it's our job to spice up this town in order to attract tourists and other shop owners. Returning back to Helen, we see that simply our presence brought Ashley, a florist, into Funktown, and she tasks us with planting flowers around her shop. Wait a second, this is the exact same plot of Animal Crossing. Whatever, we get our first gold star and are able to move into our already paid for house. Tom Nook would never. The next day, we're told a few new shopkeepers came into town, so I do my very best to introduce myself. Olivia owns the general store, or at least she's supposed to, but I can't find her around here anywhere. That is until I hear a clanking noise coming from a suit of armor and realize that Olivia was stuck inside. She thanks me, and then I make my way over to the furniture store where I find Sophie asleep inside. We wake her up and have a short conversation, but so far, nothing seems too special. We find out Tim is super into racquetball, or at least he's trying to be, so he forces me to play a few games, and let's just say, it's not my thing. Guys, I hit it once. I hit it. I did it. I did a good job. I talked to the one tourist here who does not seem very impressed whatsoever. Also, I found a horse mackerel in a bush. Not sure how that got there. I'll admit, I was a little confused as to how to advance, but with a trip to Helen and an outfit change, hopefully we're back on the right path. She tells me about a fisherman named Joseph, which would be great if I knew where to find him. Seriously, screw this guy. At least everybody else had the decency to tell me where they could be found. We got to talking and he ended up giving me a fishing rod, so I immediately went to try my hand at fishing.
Did I not get the fish?
Yeah. Reading the instructions might help. I caught a few things before going back to sell my fish to Joseph, and oh yeah, I think we're gonna get along just fine. Leading up to this, playing racquetball was my only other source of income, and it was not a good one at that. So if old Joe here wants to be my fish sugar daddy, so be it, give me those simoleons. I then completely bought out Olivia's store, and although I'm not sure if that was necessary at all, she's going out tomorrow to buy supplies to restock, so I did something. While we wait, Ashley has me help her make lays, and I'm actually pretty good at it. So good, in fact, that we got our 2nd star, baby. Maybe I was getting a bit cocky at this point, but I realized all the tourists here suck. All the whining about, I broke my sunglasses, I fell down, I don't care. You know what I do care about though? Their money, and I'll do whatever it takes to get that sweet, sweet cash.
I'm sorry to hear about your glasses, yeah. But you know, I'm sure it's all gonna be okay. A-okay, great. Sucker.
Come on, I don't really care. I care so little about this town, I told Sophie to name her store Goodwood, and she did. I then bumped into Joseph at the river, and he told me that the fishing holes, look pretty good here. So I decided to try a few new techniques and catch a few fish before calmly calling it a day.
What the fuck?
I then went back to the fishing shack to show Joseph the fish that I caught. And I know I just said that I hate everyone here, but Joseph's different. The way his eyes go wide before blushing and bowing at every new fish that I show him. The way he's constantly asking me for affirmation. Yes, Joseph, I do still need you. In fact, I love you. Joe makes us the luckiest man alive. No, seriously, after that, this is what I caught.
Oh my God.
I went back to show him the huge wiggly thing I just found, and he said holy mackerel looking at the scale of what I just showed him. He was so impressed, he took me on a date fishing down by the pond, and oh my God, does he know his way around a pole. Just fish after fish, this guy is crazy. At one point, I looked over and I was in shock, a hole just 23 inches sitting there. A giant eel. After the date, I tried to catch another marlin, but nearly killed myself instead. So yeah, we're gonna take a break on the fishing. We go talk to Marie, who's the new ranger in the Highlands. And look, just cause you're a goth baddie does not mean that you get to be rude. Honestly, this goes beyond just being mean. She makes us try out her possibly broken paraglider, and then starts charging us afterwards. But wow, I'll let it slide, cause this makes money. I bought out Sophie's stock and I'm hitting the realization that I'm the only source of income for all of these businesses. Seriously, they have no customers. The bakery opens up and we meet Chef Charlie, and he sells cakes. And that is a game changer. Cause now for tourists, we can just shove a cake in their face and compliment them twice, instead of trying to figure out what they actually want us to do. Star level 3, and now there's a new entertainment area. Before heading there, I bumped into some block-headed dude who got dumped by his girlfriend, and although I was able to cheer him up, when I later bumped into her, it was very obvious now as to why they broke up.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, you're right. You're right, that's my bad. I laughed. You said you broke up with your boyfriend. I'm sorry, that's my bad. Geez, I see why you broke up. I'm sorry. This is the worst. Don't even think about talking to me. I gave you cake.
I take a boat to the entertainment area, and there's a casino. Fun fact about me, I have a severe gambling addiction. Notice how I didn't say problem, and that's because it's not. They have the easiest form of blackjack and some tic-tac-toe game that I will not be playing. Anyway, I was there so long, I legitimately got kicked out so they could close for the day. I then bumped into a girl outside who was trying to sell me a house. For how much? Okay, only 10,000. I can do that, just not right now. I decided to check back up on Olivia, but she's nowhere to be found again. Oh, this time she was stuck under the table. I made a custom Joseph bed with the help of Sophie and was also introduced to the stupidest feature when talking to tourists. Why, when I am so close to pleasing them, do they ask a random question or a blanket statement? And how am I supposed to know whether yes or no is the right answer? This is not a yes or no question. To be fair, this can also work in your favor, but damn it, watching all your hard work go away just feels so bad. I went back to the casino in order to cash out, but when I got there, I realized I didn't have enough chips. I only had 300, and I needed 500 chips in order to cash that out to be the other 5,000 simoleons I needed to buy the house. I finally decided to stop once I had 7,000. Chips, that is, so 70,000 simoleons. But I took too long gambling and got kicked out again, so we'll have to wait till tomorrow night in order to cash out our chips. So turns out chips to simoleons is a one-way transaction, and you can only redeem chips for prizes. Looking at the prize list, I'm only 3,000 away from the top prize, the gaming company. So I have no idea how this happened, but what a way to end it. Okay, so it turns out the video game company item kinda sucks. It never showed me a photo, it's not my fault. I ended up meeting Foster, a dorky little sad boy who's the ranger in the forest area, and I ended up running some tasks for him. After buying out all of Tyler's stock, he let me make custom clothing, and there was only one thing I wanted to make. It turned out crappy, I know, but at least I can see Joseph wherever I am now. Thanks to a hungry tourist and one of Chef Charlie's chocolate cakes, and we got our 4th star. This unlocked an area past the forest, the mountain range, and also opened up something next to the casino, a disco. When on my way to check it out, I managed to catch Elizabeth beforehand, the girl who was selling the house. And after checking out my new purchase, it's just 3 rooms, and I feel scammed. I made it to the disco and I had to pay 500 simoleons just to enter, and this place sucks. It's literally just 3 people barely moving around telling me about how awful this town is. And I'm supposed to gaslight them into thinking that they're wrong. But now that I think about it, they're so right. Sophie just sleeps the whole time instead of running her shop. All Tyler, Olivia, and Charlie do is complain that they don't have any customers. Ashley makes me do her job making lays. Both Foster and Tim are just dopes. And Ewan and Marie are borderline abusive. This place is awful. Except Joseph. I love Joseph, but I'm the only one doing anything remotely productive in this town. I meet another ranger, but this time from the mountain area, Tracy, and she tells me that she was straight up lied to come here and that this place is not as advertised. She demands that I find her something of value and throws a shovel at me, so I go dig up a crystal. All of a sudden, this place isn't too bad for her, as apparently it's littered with expensive gems. However, she now decides to charge me to use that shovel to dig up gems for her. She at least gives us points that we can later redeem for statue parts that we can build at the center of town. So I decide to talk to Helen about it, and the next day, not only do we have a statue, but we also got quite a lot of points to get towards our next star. We decide to go back to Tracy to see if she needs anything else, but stop to admire the cutest deer imaginable before reaching our destination. She talks about opening up another paragliding attraction, just doesn't word it that nicely.
Jeez, okay. I have a nice flight. Oh my god!
If I had a nickel for every time a strange goth girl decided to push me off a cliff with a half-broken paraglider, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. With that, we've officially reached star level 5, and as much as I'd love to wrap it up, you can't tell me that a plane crashed next to the casino and expect me not to go check it out. I swing by the fishing shack in order to say goodbye to Joseph, but he's out fishing. I thought that was our thing. It doesn't matter, I'm leaving soon anyway. Martin, the pilot of that poorly flown plane, tells me that he needs money for fuel and that he plans to set up some business in order to make that money. I'm just happy he doesn't expect me to give it to him. Although after his plane is fixed, he does charge me 200 simoleons for... Wait, actually, what did I sign up for? Oh, that's right, skydiving. The guy who crashed his plane wants to fly me into the sky and then push me out. Unfortunately, I was right and things don't go to plan, as we end up falling to our death. So that's MySims for the DS. It's a pretty good game, if not eerily similar to a specific Animal Crossing game I played for this channel. I'm not exactly sure what I expected, but there wasn't a whole lot to do. Sure, I could have fished or gambled for hours on end, but to what objective? Playing the minigames didn't advance anything other than giving me money, and unless you plan to just be repeatedly buying out the shops, I don't really see a point to be doing that either. I did enjoy some of the character conversations I had, but if you ever bump into one of the shop owners outside of their shop, odds are they're just going to repeat the same line of dialogue until you advance the story. Quite a few times I found myself lost as to who to talk to, just to realize I had to wait for a specific time of the day in order to get the conversation that I needed. The game felt small, which might be due to me playing the DS version. From what I read, the DS version only has 30 unique characters, meanwhile the Wii has 80. I knew something was a bit off, because even though I never played this game, I remember watching my sister play it on the Wii, and it did not look like this. Sorry to anyone who recommended this game who expected me to play that version. If that's the case, maybe in the future I can find a Wii port and play MySims Kingdom. Thank you for watching, and as always, if you have a recommendation for a game you'd like to see, just leave a comment and I'll see what I can do. It doesn't have to be an old game like I've been doing either. After playing MySims, I've considered playing Sims 4 for a video, if that is something that you guys would like to see, of course. I'm constantly trying to grow and create better content, and hearing your opinions always helps. Thank you again, and I hope you enjoyed.